Marcus Aurelius was the last of the 5 good emperors of Rome, while Epictetus was born a slave and endured mistreatment from his master. Seneca, on the other hand, was a writer and one of the wealthiest individuals of his time. Despite leading completely different lives, they shared a common habit: the practice of journaling. Epictetus told his students that philosophy was something they should record day by day. Seneca enjoyed keeping a journal in the evenings, while Marcus Aurelius made entries in his imperial tent during military campaigns. For each of them, this habit meant much more than mere words on parchment. In a sense, the practice of journaling is inseparable from Stoic philosophy. It involves preparing for what lies ahead, analyzing the past, and reminding ourselves of the wisdom passed down by our teachers. It's not enough to hear these lessons once. Instead, a Stoic practices them again and again, feeling them flow through their fingers as they write. Rainier Maria Rilke wrote a wonderful phrase: "Wake up in the early morning with a fresh mind, not yet tainted by the noise of the outside world." This is the territory to defend. Don't allow foreign invasions to drive you from there. My most important rule is no phone in the morning. Instead of immediately checking email, social media, or YouTube comments upon waking, I take a short walk. When I return home, I start working on my journals. Marcus Aurelius mentioned, "It's like training. If you skip a day or more, the habit is broken." Seneca's first journal is meant to simply push away and erase any nagging or inappropriate thoughts and instantly find silence. It's important to understand that there's no need to give form to this chaotic rambling. The great artist Eugene Delacroix called Stoicism his terrible religion. Like all of us, he struggled with random and often destructive thoughts. He stated that journaling helped him deal with them. Tim Ferris said, "I journal to stay sane, not for productivity or profound ideas to shape into future publications. These pages are not for anyone but me. I simply lock my monkey mind on paper to proceed with my damn day." That's the purpose of the first journal. Instead of carrying this baggage in your mind, you dump it on the page. Albert Einstein was said to have had hot-tempered letters but never sent them. He realized that the potential damage from these words far exceeded the satisfaction he would gain from expressing his anger. Seneca expressed it similarly, emphasizing that the consequences of anger are much more harmful than the events that triggered it. We carry these destructive thoughts about what went wrong, about people who didn't meet our expectations, unfulfilled promises, unrequited love. All this accumulates and devours us from the inside. But a journal can be our guide to get all this rubbish out. As Anne Frank did, a little girl whose writings influenced the understanding of the Second World War once said, "Paper is much more patient than people. Having finished with the first journal, I move on to the second one. In it, I write one wise quote each day." This is an ideal way to start, as every person has enough time and willpower to write just 1 or 2 sentences, so there's no need to set immediate goals like writing 5 pages in 4 hours or dedicating 2 hours to this practice. James Clear once said that any new habit should take no more than 2 minutes. The daily quote journal is a perfect catalyst for building this habit. You should record the quotes that truly inspire you. Marcus Aurelius began each morning with his journal, telling himself in the morning, "I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful, the envious, and the unsocial. All these things occur by reason of their ignorance of what is good and evil. But I, who have seen the nature of the good, that it is beautiful, and of the bad, that it is ugly, and the nature of him who does wrong, that it is akin to me, not only of the same blood or seed, but that it participates in the same intelligence and the same portion of the divinity. I can neither be injured by any of them, for no one can fix on me what is ugly, nor can I be angry with my kinsman, nor hate him. For we are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth. To act against one another, then, is contrary to nature, and it is acting against one another to be vexed, and to turn away. A sound mind should be prepared for all kinds of events. Who knows what kind of emperor, What kind of person Marcus would have been without this preparation? Instead of letting thoughts flow unimpeded or not subjecting semi-formed assumptions to scrutiny, he compelled himself to write them down. Putting his own thoughts on paper allowed him to see them from a distance, providing objectivity often missing when anxiety, fears, and disappointments flood our minds. This enabled him to begin his day and important work calmly and with focus. Similarly, each of us should begin our mornings by visualizing all the unpleasantness that might occur and preparing for the best possible resolution. Personally, I use a separate journal for this purpose. The best way to learn is to analyze our mistakes. All feelings must be toughened. They are patient by nature, as long as the soul doesn't corrupt them. You should call your soul to account every day. Each evening, sit in judgment of yourself. When the light is out, and the wife who is irritated by this habit no longer distracts you, carefully dissect your day, weighing each word and deed. I don't conceal anything from you. I don't hide anything. After all, why should I fear my mistakes if I can say to myself, "See, this time you didn't get angry when dealing with an ignorant person"? Be careful not only about what you say, but also about who you say it to, whether they can receive the truth. A kind person will be delighted to be warned, but someone worse than that, the worse they are, the more they will be enraged at those attempting to amend them. He also strived to improve himself, and Socrates once said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." So it's vital to ask yourself, have I accomplished my set tasks? What could I have done better? Have I learned something that will help me tomorrow? Have I treated my loved ones with kindness and respect? More than 2,000 years after Marcus Aurelius turned journaling into a spiritual practice, Harvard researchers conducted studies that demonstrated people who analyzed their day achieved a remarkable 25% increase in effectiveness. The researchers concluded that reflection is a powerful tool for learning. American scholar John Dewey once uttered profound words, "We do not learn from experience. We learn by reflecting on experience." So, each evening, evaluate how your day unfolded. I hope today's video provides you with not only food for thought, but also the motivation to take action. Who knows, perhaps in a couple of thousand years, your journal entries will become a literary monument.